I mean, again, it's the personality and character of this group, and I'm not surprised. Right? Like, this is what they've always shown to be, and this is what we expected from them tonight.
How much composure did you see down the stretch in what could be a situation where some teams come around?
I mean, I think we did a great job of getting to our spots and executing the stuff we knew we could get to. That created an advantage for us. But I think it all started with Asar and his defense. And he was phenomenal defensively tonight. Offensively, obviously, to come up with the 22 points. But, I think it started with his defense. And a lot of credit should be given to him.
And then with Cade Cunningham, we talk about clutch time a lot. They did a good job locking him up, early. But he went on his own 7-0 run there. 5 minutes to play. It's a tight game. How much leadership did he show in taking you guys to the next?
I mean, he's the guy. We've talked about it before a ton. He understands the moment. He understands when and how. And it's basically, with his skill set, it's make or miss for him, right? Like, if he can get to his spot, regardless of what you're doing defensively, and then it's just a matter of him, making or missing his own shot. And again, I was glad to see him late in that game. He finally started to get to the free throw line, which changes the way teams have to guard him also.
Brunson's an interesting player in the way that he kind of changes his pace and draws fouls and all that. What's it been like to see Asar over the course of this series kind of study him and figure out how to defend him?
Yeah, I mean, again, he's a heck of an offensive player, right? Phenomenal offensive player. But I think Asar, from a mental standpoint, like a want to, there's not more people out there that want to get a stop the way that he does. He's gifted athletically. He's got great instincts, but what's, to your point, the fun part is, like, he gets to see the guy over and over and over again, and then he grows every single game on understanding what's the best way to defend him and how to make it so difficult. You remember early in the series, he got a couple cheap ones in the backcourt, because he was over-pressuring. Now you see him working his way back, still turning him, but he's not getting those cheap ones. He's able to stay on the floor and be impactful. So it's fun to see him learn and go out and execute it.
Were you surprised the Knicks didn't call timeout there to get Brunson and Hart back in the game when they were kind of discouraged staying with that stretch?
That's their job to coach their team.
Also on the style, obviously we talked about how rough those first 4 games were. Refs letting you guys play. What did you think of how the tone changed tonight in terms of the way the fouls were called? It seemed like they were being a lot tighter for both.
I mean, again, it's one of those things that's just completely out of your control. And I hate to, make this series about refereeing and the officials, because it's not, right? This is a series about 2 highly competitive teams that are battling their tails off, trying to do whatever it takes to win. The physicality, I believe, is a good thing for the game. It's a good thing for us. Obviously you got to protect guys and be safe and all those things, but you know what I mean? Like, this series isn't about the officials. This series is about 2 competitive teams playing great basketball against each other.
Asar obviously had a good night scoring. Seems like he was consistently able to make himself available for those jump-off passes and the numbers. What did you see from him just from an off-ball movement standpoint that allowed him to continue to flow?
I mean, he executed the game plan. We're watching how they play and where they like to help from, and he's one of those guys, because of his size and athleticism, he's elite at finishing around the basket. But again, give his teammates credit, right? Because he was assisted when his teammates were able to make plays, making the second read because of how they're defending us.
Coach, Cade obviously, took over the majority of the second half. And in that first half, when it seemed like he was struggling to get going, Tobias Harris really stepped up for you guys. I know we asked you this a lot, but what more can you add about Tobias Harris and what he means to the team?
I mean, I've run out of adjectives about how I feel about Tobias, so I'll just repeat myself. You know what I mean? Like, he is our safety blanket. He's reliable. He's dependable. He understands what needs to happen in the moment. He's an unbelievable human being, an unbelievable teammate. He's a fierce competitor. Like, I mean, you want me to keep going? Is that enough?
GB, you said before the game, this team has beaten the odds all year long. Let's beat it one more time. Was that the message to the team before the game?
No, it's the focus is just the game that's in front of us, and I do believe, like, why we've been able to grow the way that we've grown is because that's the mentality we've had. We're not a team that looks out 5 games. We're not a team that looks, you have to win 3. Like, we are a team that just looks and plays in the moment. and you don't worry about the other weight of all the other stuff that comes about if that's the way you play. And I think our guys have just been accustomed to doing that, and that's why, again, it's not going to be easy. But we got an opportunity to go home, play in a Game 6, and in front of our crowd, which I know will be awesome.
JB, you have a young team.
How can this kind of become a standard for him?
I mean, again, he's got to get the opportunities, right? Be put in the positions to be successful. And again, this is like, he's reading the game the proper way, and he's taking what's there, advantage of what's there, both offensively and defensively.
You have a young team, but one thing that's been good about you guys this year, you've been a good road team. One of the few teams in the league with a winning record on the road. This is your 4th win here this year. So two questions. Was it a data point that you used to talk to your team going into the game? And why is it that you guys are comfortable playing on the road?
I mean, our guys, as crazy as it sounds, like they feed off of it, right? Like they feed off the energy of the opponent's crowd, talking shit, making noise, like they embrace the chaos, and they're comfortable there. And not everybody is that way, right? Some people need the support of their home crowd and those types of things, but like our guys embrace the chaos, and they're extremely comfortable and can play their best.
What did you see from Jalen Duran and like your loss in the shuffleboard, 14 rebounds, especially with 6 assists that he had?
Yeah, he was dominant on the boards, both offensively and defensively, which we know this series comes down to possessions, right? You win the possession game, you're going to win, the game most of the time with turnovers, offensive rebounds, and those things. And then again, they want to play the pick and roll a certain way. You got to have guys that can play make. And because they're putting 2 on the ball, he's the guy that receives it in the pocket, and he's a really good passer and playmaker.
How much of that has developed, like, over the year from when I mean, obviously you've only been here for a year, but like, that's a tough skill for a big like him to master, just the catch and then make that pass. Like, how much have you seen that develop?
I mean, he's a good passer. There was a stretch during the year, I think he went maybe like 6 or 7 games in a row where he had like 6+ assists. You know what I mean? So he's got great feel when the ball's in his hands, and he's able to create and make those plays. I think with him, it's understanding the situation, reading the defense, and then being able to complete the play.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you all.